Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and yeah, I could not find the top 16 prison Frieza list, so I decided to make my own. From kind of what I've heard, I think people said it was red yellow, but whatever, that's fine. I'm making a red blue version because I like to make stupid decks sometimes. So we've got this prison Frieza leader. It is a Frieza BR permanent. You can't include battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less in your deck, which is really tough sometimes to get around, but it does have some benefits. So active main once per turn. Look at the top 5 cards from the top of your deck, then choose up to one red extra card among them, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So being able to search for extra cards is great. And then also it's a 4 or less, you draw 2 and flip the card over. And then on the Awaken side, activate once per turn, draw one card, and then when this card is attacked by a battle card, you may choose one red Frieza Army card from your hand, place in your drop area, and if you do negate that attack and skill for duration, that attack and this skill for duration of the turn. So essentially this is like a kind of control deck leader. That's why it's kind of like the prison format, and normally it has a bunch of the cards in it that kind of facilitate that kind of gameplay, but I kind of threw half of them away, and we're just going for like full cheese strats. So let's look at all the extra cards first, because that's what's important for the first part is that you have to look for extra cards. And so we got 4 Kabba's Awakening. This is fantastic because we don't actually, like, the silly thing about this deck is that you can't actually run super combos because they're all 3 or less. But this has Activate Battle. Choose up to one of your red battle card or one of your red cards gains plus 6k power for duration of the turn, which is essentially 10k on defense. So that's really great there. And so it's a free combo and all that. So this is like a free 10k. So it kind of is like supposed to mitigate the fact that you don't get any actual super combos. We have 3 Beerus Ball, which is the new card from the set. So this is a counterplay. If your leader card is red and your life is at 4 or less, a battle card being played has 15k or power or less, it is placed in its owner's drop area instead of being played, and if it's your opponent's turn, choose up to one of your leader cards. It gives plus 5k power for the duration of the turn. So this is kind of like it might be a little bit hard to get us to 4 life at sometimes, but being able to run this card and be able to just be kind of proactive with it, and you don't have to, like, if you have one energy open, you can just play this for without that. But if you don't, this is really nice to be able to counter. It might be a little bit tough to get down to 4 life strategically, but I think this could be a really good card. And since this is a draw 2 leader and not an untap 2 leader, there could be like a lot of issues with having energy to use. But I think so being able to be flexible with that is nice too. Next up, we have After Image Technique. Pretty straightforward. It's a negate, and also it's a sparking negate, so we don't have to use energy for it. So great card there. Next up, we have Denial of Hope. And so if your leader card is red, the battle card being played has 20k power or less, is placed in the drop area instead. This card's fantastic. You might even want to bump it up to 3. If you don't like Beerus Ball, this you can flex from there. But it shouldn't be too hard to find, especially since our unawakened leader searches the top 5 for those cards. So great card there, really good for disrupting. And later in the game, you can use this 2 energy to get rid of like a 3-drop thing, and I feel like it's really important. So I definitely put more in the side deck for this, but I think 2 just in the main is enough. You can add more. And then we have 4 Combination Attack. This is one of the new cards from the Magnificent Collection. It's a red-blue extra card, and so that's really important because it is able to be searched through our leader's ability, and then it just being is able to go from there. So active, and it's a really cool effect too. So it's Activate Battle. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, the energy cost of 5 or less. Return it to its owner's hand, then choose up to one of your red or blue energy and switch it to active mode. So the fact that this is a 2-cost thing that turns into a 1-cost thing is really important. So once again, we really want to be able to be really efficient with our energy, so this is a great way for that. And this is actually really more disruptive, and honestly I don't think people will be expecting it as much. So really great card there. And since it's red blue, that means that we can use Objection to ramp up from here. And with our Objection, we can get into our kind of like big play from now. Like, so if you already saw this a mile away, but this is going into Babidi. There is an errata with this. If you don't know that, you have to have 6 red energy to get this card's effect to go off. So what you can do is that turn 1 you charge Combination Attack, and then turn 2 you can go into Objection. And so you still have a red energy here. So you're able to ramp without having to lose any momentum with this 6-drop Babidi. So that's the idea there. And so you need to get to 6 energy and then just go off. And what else? So that's kind of the idea. And so you use this mind control Babidi, and you can use it to get Kaioken, and then Kaioken can just win you the game, right? That's really the main win condition of this deck. And so it's just like some really interesting interactions with there. Some additional cards to get us there. So Chain Attack Trunks is fantastic, and it's an easy way to get out our Babidi earlier. We're able to, when you play this card, choose up to one of your battle cards with, in your hand with power 15k power or less and play it. So you can use this, play Mind Control Babidi. So it's use 4 energy to get out the 6 energy. Excuse me. And then you can use that to get the 7 dropout from the top 7 of your deck, right? And you can do some wacky stuff where you can use Chain Attack, or you can use Babidi gets played, and then you use Chain Attack from the Babidi, and you can use that to play another Babidi from your hand, and so you just have a lot of ways to get this Kaioken there. So that's a really cool interaction there. Also, since you're only using 4 energy for this, if your opponent uses, probably one of the biggest ways to counter this is to use the Yellow Champa. So if you use Beerus Ball to stop them from playing that counter, because Beerus Ball is fantastic for that. It's a counter to the multi-counters that are introduced last set. I think it's really helpful and can get you there. So that's some cool interaction. Unfortunately, I couldn't find enough, a lot of room to fit anything other than these cards here, but Zen-oh is a great thing. Chain Attack Zen-oh is just always perfect at disrupting the game, and if you think you're going to be losing, or if, a really good example is if your opponent's going really aggressively to make if they have a lot of card advantage and they use a lot of cards from their life to get there, you can just Chain Attack Trunks, resets all their advantage they have, and then they're just feeling really bad about it. So that's really powerful. And then you can also get Frieza your card draw, and then you can awaken and draw 2 more, and that's something I didn't mention is that you want to awaken always on your turn, since you can use active main to get an extra card, then you draw 2, so that's 3, and then you can draw 1 card just active main here. And so that's +4. And so if you Chain Attack Zen-oh and then you do all these card draws, then you can have 9 cards and your opponent only has 5. So I think that's really great. Is a good controlling strategy there. Topo Righteous Aid, fantastic card at making sure your opponent can't go off when they want to. Being able to, they have to pitch 2 cards from their hand every time they attack, so it starts adding up really quickly, and you already have kind of some card advantage there. So great card. We also have Kakino, the Fledgling. So when you play or combo this card, if your leader card is a Red Frieza's Army, you may choose 1 card from your hand and place in your drop area, and if you do, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards that gets -5k for power for duration of the turn. So this is fantastic for, once the 5k combo, which this deck kind of desperately needs at times, so it's a nice card there, and it pretty much can turn any dead card into an extra 5k. As long as you're being attacked by a battle card, you can just say, oh, I pitched something, and give the battle card -5k, and then it doesn't go off anymore. So nice there, helps you out and can be good there. And then we also have Quick Shift Berry Blue. Normally I didn't really like these cards, but I think this is really important for shuffling cards that we don't need back into our deck, and also helping us find the cards we need. There's a lot of cards that can be dead after they're used, or they don't want in your hand, or they specifically want in your deck, such as Kaioken. So being able to, 1, use this as a defense tool, but also fix our hands and our deck is really good, since you choose 2 cards from your hand, shuffle your deck, and then you draw 2. So if you have too many Babidis in hand, or if you have more than 1 Zen-oh, or if you need to find a Zen-oh really bad, or if you need to find a Kaioken or anything like that, that's just some good combo there and can help you out. Lastly, we have the 2 Frieza Final Showdown Frieza. It's critical double strike. Also auto once per turn when your opponent when your opponent declares to play a battle card or activates a skill that puts battle cards into play. If your leader card is a Red Frieza's Army card, you may choose 1 card from your life and place in your drop area. If you do, the battle card is played with its skill negated for duration of the turn. So this is fantastic. It's a really good card for a couple matchups, and this can get found by Babidi. And then if you are afraid of an arrival card coming into play, you can have this out, and then if they try to arrival, you can use their your auto. So this is some more, since playing cards in your opponent's turn is becoming more and more prevalent. This is a great card just to have on the field, and so it's another Babidi target. It's also Frieza's Army. which is nice for your leader's effect too. So in case you need that, and just a nice card. I like it. And also 2 berry blue, the negotiator. So when you play this card, if your leader card is a red Frieza army card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 25k power or less, ignoring berry and gain control of it. So this is this can be really disruptive. This can also be found by Bobbity, and that's really it. So that's really the deck. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It's a bit RNG, and I don't know. I haven't played much of it, but I think this could be kind of fun and to play with, and I think it has just like any deck that can resolve chain attack Zen-oh, consistently is, pretty good. I think combination attack is a cool card that has a lot of synergy with this deck, weirdly enough. And I don't think people are going to be expecting it as much, so they can, go in with this 5-drop and then, energy, use this combination attack and return it to their hand, and then you only really you only cost it for 1, so there's that. So let me know what you guys think. This is, once again, not the deck that was in the top 16 at PPG Dallas last week. Hopefully we get to find it pretty soon, but I don't. It's been weirdly hard to find it, and that's really it. So let me know what you guys think about this deck. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.